Hey guys, it's lovely to have your company back here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. Hope you are well and I hope you're ready for another tutorial which is all about the template library. And you could already guess that because I had it in the title there for you beforehand. But what we are going to do with this one, as I always say with the template library, is the fact that we can use it for any brand. Anything that you've got, your cardstock, your toppers, your inky backgrounds, your stamps, your embossing folders, all of that you can absolutely use. Every single project within the template library is kind of like an even playing field for you just to then get creative. You can be as simple as you want, you could be as advanced as you want, but the great thing about every single project is you can use something from all brands from every single point, whether it's just the base of the actual project, whether it's the mat and layer for the project, whether it is going to be the center twisted part of the whatever it is, you're able to use, of course, any brands. So what we're going to do within this one, no shock whatsoever that we're going to delve in. I'm going to do a couple of these with a couple of brands just to get the creative juices flowing for you guys at home. It's all very well us saying you can use other brands, you can do this, you could do that. Sometimes, I know you've said it to me yourself, that you just need to say something for it to spark, oh, I've got such and such, I can use that, or I can use that, or I can use that. So that's what we're going to do when it comes to this video here, all about the template library and Hunkydory Crafts. Now, what we are going to be doing, we're going to start off simple-ish when it comes to the collection. And we're going to go in with green, and we're going to do a simple stepper card. So we're going to go in with green, it's number 10, and we're going to go in with the simple stepper card. Easy for me to say. So with that, what we are going to do is, now I've already picked it out, but I'm going to use Hunkydory's In Full Bloom. So this was, at time of recording, I think this is a couple of months ago, certainly towards that 3/4 of the way in to last year, maybe a little bit longer, but we're going to be using their Full Bloom. It was their Deco Large. Just so that you know, you can always check out Hunkydory's website, see if they've still got it. You did get your inserts and you did also get your little book as well. Always grateful, Anne-Marie and Nat at Hunkydory. Every now and again, if there's something that I see that takes my fancy, they will send it to me. However, on this occasion, I did buy the whole collection. I'm not always gifted them. I will buy them as well because I am a big fan of the guys at Hunkydory. Now, this is the one that we're going to do. So we're going to do the simple stepper card with the Daisy Decoupage. That's what we're going to be doing here. So what we do need to do is, of course, get that template. So I already know it's number 10. So I'm going into my green templates. Now I can either look at the index, but I already know it's number 10, so we can go straight to number 10. And we've got it here, which is our simple stepper card. So I can move all those bits out the way, and we've got our template here. So before we crack on, let's do what I do usually like to do, and that's just give a big thank you to everyone that's still liking, still subscribing to my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you loved the ones that I done and I uploaded over the Christmas holidays, and for those that hit that bell notification, really appreciate it. More than ever, it's certainly the likes that mean a great big deal. So thank you so much. I do read all the comments. For those, quite a lot of you that are new, I will read them. I know I don't always reply to them unless it's something that does actually need reply to, but I do read them all because I get an email letting me know every single time, and I've purposely kept that email notification on so I see you guys have taken the time to actually write a comment, write a message under the tutorial videos, so I make sure I spend that time in reading every single one. So thank you so much. So let me know when it comes to this tutorial what you think. Maybe it sparked that creative idea as to what you've already got at home. Maybe you've got old Kanban collections. I know Kanban's still going now, of course, but obviously the original Kanban with Kanban Keith. Maybe you've got Keith's Paper Dynamics cardstocks. Maybe you've got Debbie Moore CD-ROMs, maybe you've got Linda Chapman CD-ROM, whatever it is. Of course, you guys stateside, all your brands that we've not even seen yet here in the UK, whatever it is, you can be using with our templates. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw around. Now for this, what we are going to be doing it, instead on a white card, we're going to be doing it onto their adorable scoreable. This is obviously Hunkydory's cardstock. Now what we have got here is we've got the template, and it tells us it's number 10. It's the simple stepper card. It tells us it flattens to 5x7, so we know it's going to go into a 5x7 envelope, and it is from green. So if I do get all muddled afterwards, forget to pop it away back in its folder, I know afterwards exactly where it's come from. So what we're going to do is, I always say when it comes to these, we're going to ignore the mats and layers for now. So let's move that one out the way. And it's entirely up to you whether you start to draw and cut on the front side or whether you want to do it on that back side. The adorable scoreable off the top of my head is 350 GSM and their toppers are 300 GSM. I'm sure I've got that right. It's one or the other anyway. So let's go in and let's draw around. Now what we're going to have, so if I show you this bit here, we've got the daisies that are coming down that side. So what will happen is it means that the daisies are going to be coming down one side of the simple stepper card, which will look quite cool. And I want to make sure I've got a fair bit. So if I come along here, my template starts at that long line there. So I don't want to waste any of that. So I'm going to go right up to the top. Now you can go right into the corner to avoid drawing a line, but if you know by watching myself, you know that I do still prefer to draw that line in, just so that I know I've got it to the right cut. And then we're going to go in, highly recommend a mechanical pencil, but of course you can use whatever you want. Now we're going to start at that specific corner, and once we end up where we are, we can go into the middle and we can then start to put in the score lines. With this template, you've also got cut lines, and the great thing is, as I always say, when it comes to the recipe cards, because I know most of you watching will be watching because you know how the template library works. If not, I will just bring in the recipe cards in a moment. But as I always say, don't just look at your recipe cards. You want to be looking at your template as well, because your template tells you, is it a fold, is it a mountain fold, is it a valley fold, and is it a cut line? So all that information is there for you. And then what we can do is we can then move that away, and now we've then got our template that you can see here. So what I will do is let's just bring that back in for anyone that is new. What you have got is a finished example on the front that you might want to make it look like, but then what you have also got on the opposite side is you've got the steps. So you've got the steps, 6 pictures, 6 written, and you've also got a video that I done. Leanne done the first one, and then Leanne done the original one, then the first expansion pack, then I done the remaining expansion packs. So you've got pictures, you've got written, and you've got the video as well, all in black and white form. Reason I like that, doing it in the black and white form, is again, it then gives you the idea, the thought, the process as to what you're going to be using instead. So we've now got our template. So for something like this, it's great because it's straight all the way around. So all that we need to do is just make sure we're cutting straight. So let's work all our way around, and I do as close as I can, and then if I need to do a little bit of trimming, I will do. So if we go in there, teeny bit more, and I always trim the pencil line off. So if I go in there, and now that is the outer edge of our template cut. And because I done it further in, it means I've got these that I could be putting in my bit box and use elsewhere at another time. So if we then bring that back in, and then we're going to do our cut line. What I'm going to do is use my ruler, and I am going to get my craft knife, and I'm going to use my ruler and craft knife. You can of course use your V-blade paper trimmer if you want. So I'm going to start that at that starting point. Now, as you can imagine, I've done many of these many times, so I kind of know the process now of them. Now, I've done that, cut that quite a number of times, only because my craft knife is getting blunt. I need to replace the blade. However, with our Crafter's Companion craft knife, you would, if it's relatively fresh, the blade, you're probably only looking at no more than 2 pulls with your cutting knife. And we're just going cut to cut, so top to bottom. And this is where I was meaning about always referring to your actual template as well as the recipe book, because it tells me that's a cut line, and it tells me these are mountain, valley and mountain, but we have to score these first. So let's set that out the way now. Now, how many of you over time have bought pre-cut and scored templates, which I know many of you will have? And what I'm doing now, this is where a black line, I know I've done a black line at every inch. It's not necessary, but at least one black line at the center point, which is 4 inches. That is where something like this really does help, so that we can make sure they're in that same line, they're in the same channels, and then therefore they're getting scored exactly the same. We're going to then go into there like so, and then this middle one, what you can always do is use your ruler to make sure you're aligned up straight, and then I am pretty comfortable and confident because this one is only scored in that middle section. That is it. Now, I've still not found my eraser, but for this I'm not actually bothered because we're going to flip it on the other side. So now what we've got is we've got the score lines in there, there, there and there, and then we just need to start following what it says. So we're going to lightly manipulate it to start with. So these two here are mountain, and that's a mountain. So a mountain is when you go like a peak, and we do the same there. But notice how I'm not pressing it right back, otherwise it's going to bend some of this. And then I'm going to pinch the middle there. This one, these ones here are valley, so that dips like a valley, and that one there. And then these bottom ones are mountain, so it goes back to that mountain and back to that mountain. Now what we can do is we can then start to then pinch these together, and look at that. How fab is that? How it comes together. Let's press and let's burnish that. So let's burnish that down, and you're going to want to do that onto each of these. And what I mean by that is even underneath there and then there. And then look at that. What we have then got is, I'm just going to move the iPad back so that you're not seeing it. Look at that. How cool is that? So we've then got our stepper with the daisies running down the side there. Obviously it's all going to be dependent on the adorable scoreable background card or whatever the cardstock it is that you're making. Super, super cool. So we can then come back in with this one, and then let's have a look, because you've also got your two mats and your layers. So we could come along with this one here. We can use that if you want. You don't have to, of course, if you don't want to block that off, but I'm going to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that around like that and do it in the back, and then we're going to take our pencil. Now I have got an abundance of adorable scoreable, an absolute abundance. Now for anyone that is a new crafter or relatively new, and maybe you're new to Hunkydory, their cardstock is called Adorable Scoreable because it's what they class as bendy ink technology. So you're not going to get any cracking or creasing. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Hunkydory. I absolutely love the brand and I love the guys and girls. So obviously, I'm here for Craft Companion. So I'm not going to delve in too much about Hunkydory and the processes. I would say if you are new to them, head across to the Hunkydory website, have a look on their social channels and read all about the guys if you are new to them. But yeah, big fan of them. One of the big kind of stepping stone times that I had was where Anne-Marie had given me a helping hand. So I'll always be a big champion of Anne-Marie, not to mention she has become a really good friend, as many of the guys at Hunkydory. So using my guillotine, and what's lovely with this, because it's leftover, what that means is that kind of very light mottled distress look at ivory is going to work really well. As you can see, you can do your mats and layers, but what's also good is you don't have to do mats and layers if you don't want to. You know, you can leave it like that, and that is the great thing about it, is you can 100% leave it without the mats and layers, but you've got the mats and layers there should you wish to use them. So if I bring that template back in once more for you to see, so you've got your mat and layer for here, and you've got your mat and layer for here as well. So you've got them for both sections should you wish to use them, and then you can, if you want, use that mat and layer on the back, and you can even use it inside as well. But we're going to keep it very basic when it comes to showing you how you can use it with your other brands. So let's just give that another burnish here. You can decorate it till your heart's content. You can decorate it with things such as flower forming, your little daisy dies, your layering daisy dies. You can do that. But let's take die cut topper, and they're just pips that hold it in. However, I do like just use my scissors to snip them out. What's also lovely is, a bit like us at Crafters Companion, if we can give you more, we will. And Hunkydory do just that, and they jam pack all of the card with as many usable components as possible. So that can go along the bottom here. That So let's take my tissue tape and stick that one on. So you will know, no secret, it is Stix2 adhesive. And I would just like to point out also for anyone that's new, our adhesives in Crafter's Companion are also exceptional. But when one of your very, very, very first crafting collection product you bought was Stix2, I'm still using them to this day. I never use them. And they have also, Ruth and John, Stix2, become good friends just down the road in Gateshead. So if you ever see me not using our adhesives, it's not because they're not any good. They are exceptional. It's just I'm used to Stix2, and I'm very fortunate that the company have allowed me to continue to support Stix2. So now we've got our little ribbon border along the bottom, just here, and then again we can take our topper, which is just a perfect fit, isn't it? The perfect fit. I know we're covering the daisies on the back, still seeing them on the actual back of the stepper, or you could be using any of the tanned adorable scoreable. For instance, if you do have the full bloom, maybe you'll have the adorable scoreable collection that came with it. Good to use with this. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to keep it flat, and then we're going to build our decollage over the top. Decollage, for anyone that is wanting to know, we're trying to go to Hunkydory's social website just yet. It is Decoupage, but it's large images, hence Deco Large. So instead of Decoupage, which tends to be smaller images that you guys will be familiar with our topper pads, these are larger images. So I'm going to pop that right within the middle. I'm going to go as close to that score line as I can, using my Stix2 double-sided tape. Use your own adhesive if you want. What I will do is I always will link our Crafter's Companion products, if still in stock, in the description, and I will always, of course, link Stix2. I will, for the sake of using it, I will have a look, and if Hunkydory do still stock it, I'll pop a link to their page. I won't necessarily link the product, but I'll link their page, and you can go across and have a look. So we're just going to work our way around and pop them out. Now in most cases, the Deco Large aren't numbered by Hunkydory, but I promise you, if you've never tried it before, they're very easy to work out size wise. So we can then go in here and we can then pop that out there and pop them ones. So that's the next size down, that's the next size down, and we're going in and see how they pop out like a dream. And the topper, as I said off the top of my head, I'm sure the toppers are 300 GSM, and the actual adorable scoreable is 310. Let's just pop that out, which means you can still manipulate. So let's pop that one into here, and then I'm going to pop that one. I'm going to take that one out like that, and I can take the butterfly out. Take the butterfly out, and then that is it. Now, what to do is don't bin the Adorable Scoreable. Take any of your punches that you've got and go in and punch and use all of that space up. Use your punches or use your smaller dies, use them and then put them in a little container and then keep them, because you don't want to waste the incredible quality. So if I then, we'll sort that out, Craig. We could then do a circle one. I'm turning it around so I can see where I'm going. And just into all of these bits, just use them all up. And then to get into all the space in there, just chop up with your scissors. And then you've got all of your circles, which you can then shape with your ball tool. And that could be little faux embellishments or centre of flowers. Or if you've got your Gemini mini alphabets, you could put your name or your letters in them. Let's bring in the star one as well, just so we can see. So let's take that one out. And then, as I say, just work your way around. And then when it comes to these bits here, just chop away and use as much as you can so it's not going to waste. So bring in all of either your new punches or even then your older punches and use up all of those bits. Right, so let's get back to our stepper and let's go back to the order. So it was that one, then that one, then that one, then that, then that, then that, that, and then that. Right, so let's take our topper. So this is our first layer, and we're going to pop that on into place. Let's take our next layer. I've got a little bit in there that we can pop out. I've then also got, just going to trim so I know my foam pad is the same depth. We can then pop that one to stabilise the leaves. And then that one can go to there. Now you don't have to use all the layers if you don't want to. You can alternate if you want, and sometimes you find the main floral image on the background card matches size wise to the decollage, so you could put your decollage toppers onto the image that's on the background card. So I'm just going to align that one up there, and then we can take our next one and pop that one on, and then we're just having a look and we're just eyeballing, pick a petal and then layer that up visually by matching it. And then we've got that one. So the first layer is a full flower, and then every single layer after that gets smaller and smaller and smaller until there is no more, or as I say, until you decide to stop. So if we go to there, and then the centre of our daisy. Now although, and I will be honest with you, although this says it's going to, the size of this card will fit any 5x7 envelope. That is if it's going to be relatively flat. This, we've got a lot of height to it with the Deco Large, so I would be making like a 5x7 box to pop it in. So let's go into there, and then we've obviously got these two butterflies, and what we've also got is we've got our sentiment toppers. So we could do I love you 1,000 daisies, to a dear friend, wishing you the brightest of days. Let's do that one. And that can go along there, which will be just a lovely, lovely fit. So I'm going to use slightly deeper foam pads. So the ones I used there were 2 mils, and these ones are 3 mils, millimeters that is. So making sure I've got room. Yep. So if we take them off, there, and then let's take that. I'm going to position it there so we can still read it, but I'm still seeing the bottom ribbon topper, and then we can, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I've got this last little bit of foam pad. So let's chop that in half. That can go there. So what did I say? That, didn't I? And then you can, of course, if you want to manipulate the wings. And this, you will need a slightly wider or longer envelope because the wings are going over the edge. And then there we go. And then of course, if you wanted to add any gems or pearls, let's see, we've got our gold foiling, so you can either use our gems and pearls. If you've got Hunkydory's, you can use theirs, of course. I've just got a whole load here. They're all individual, but they're from Hobby Craft. Let's pop that in there, and then that one can go there. And then I'll tell you what, let's do 1, 2, and 3. It says if you can pick that up there, and then let's do the same, but on the opposite side. We'll do it at the bottom. 1, 2, and 3. And then there we go. We could lift them up slightly, and them as well. And then there we go. We have got our simple stepper card that you can see there, like so. Turning that one around, we've got that stepper aspect, and because we've used Hunkydory, you've got it all the way round. You could right in the middle. You can still use, you can take one of their inserts, cut it at a rectangle and pop that in there. But then if I show you the example that was on, of course, the book, in the recipe card, using our stamp or using our dies, using our papers, our cardstock, our gems, but there is nothing stopping you from using all of your own other crafting collections that you've got at home. This one, of course, being In Full Bloom by Hunkydory Crafts. And there we go. So let's bring that one back in just close up for you guys to see. So let's go there, like so. There we go. And we've got the stepper there, and then there. Pop an insert in there, and then job's a good one. So using your template library, as I verbally explained many times over the last couple of weeks, but using it with what you've got at home. That could be background card, that could be watercolor card you've used your explosion powders with. It could be, you could create your template, draw around it, cut around it, emboss it with an embossing folder. If you've got a big embossing folder, that's great, you can do that. Your mats and layers could be embossed, they could be inked, whatever it is, you can absolutely do, because you've got that core base template to start you off, and then the crafting world's your oyster with what you actually use. Okie doke, rightio. I hope you enjoyed that one, and hope you like seeing just something a little bit different when it comes to one of our project or products, which of course the template library. If you are interested, it's been a busy day, trust me, interested in the template library, what I'll do, as always, I will link products that are in stock within the description of this video, and you can click to your relevant website. Rightio, I will see you again very soon on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. Doodles!